Beloved heart, I invite you to sign up to my mailing list, and as a result of signing up, you will get a free gift. It's a 5D rebalance tune up of all these chakras, and chakras are my specialty. So I would love to gift you with this transmission that is filled with light language and codes to help you stay balanced and tuned up during these increased frequencies of energy of this ascension, this new earth frequency. So check out the links in the notes of this show. And I look forward to connecting with you. I am sending you love. This is the transfiguration of the new you. Welcome back, beloved, to another episode on my podcast. I am the host for this podcast, Monica Bermudez, and I want to share a special message for this week that I've been feeling for some time now. So today we are diving into something that feels both ancient and utterly alive at the moment, in the completion of the Kali Yuga cycle, in the dawn of a new age. For a long period of time, we were in the Kali Yuga, so the darkest and densest of the cycle. So we're commencing into this whole new cycle, but it feels very different, which I'll get into it in this episode some more. So if you've been sensing that 2025 carries an outer outer worldly weight, you're not imagining it. We are living through the closing of one of the grand cycles of time and the beginning of another. And this is one of my favorite topics because I grew up learning this through some of my mysticism in my studies. And I recall being so fascinated by these cycles. It's such an ancient wisdom that has been passed down through many traditions. And it has nothing to do with the goddess Kali, even though it says Kali Yuga. In this sense, the word Kali comes from a Sanskrit root, meaning discord, strife, or conflict. And Yuga means age or epoch. So Kali Yuga, the age of conflict or the age of darkness. And this represents a time when humanity drifted the farthest from the truths, the harmonies, and the divine remembrance, marked by the illusion, materialism, and the spiritual forgetfulness and widespread imbalance. And it was also known as the Iron Age, heavy, dense, and challenging. And I think many would agree that that was the case. And it just felt like it was getting to so much of a darkest point. And it is, in a way, just things are just unwinding themselves, right? Um, Yet, so many may consider it also as the age of opportunity because when the collective forgets, those who awaken shine even brighter. And so at some point, we all knew that we were coming for this great shift and this great awakening that is happening right now. And I felt for some time that, the completion of this Kali Yuga occurred in March 2025 during the equinox, which was of March 21st. And there was another turning point and acceleration of this completion that took place during that Lionsgate portal that we just had recently. So that's why it was such a crucial, important Lionsgate portal for this year of 2025. And the portals for the rest of the year of 2025, which you have September 9th, which is actually a 999 portal because you have the 9 for September, the month of September, and 9 for the day. And then when you add up the year of 2025, you get number 9. So it is a 999 portal. Then you have October 10th, which is a 1010 portal. November 11th, the 1111 portal. December 12th, the 1212 portal. And then the big portal at the end of this year is December 21st, another equinox. And that in itself is going to be an epic portal that will feel like almost like a rebirthing of this new human. And that is the period that we're in right now, this transitional state. And these are detrimental for this great shift. What is emerging, of course, is this new human for this new cycle. The foundations are laid out for this new emergence and this first wave of new humans taking their rightful place amongst the new earth and the universe. All the impacts, all of this impacts the universe itself. And we are all doing this from our part, here on earth. So we are all serving our part here on earth. And this shift is really moving into the next level of this density and the light of the Satya Yuga, which begins to dawn. This doesn't mean that it's an instant shift, but rather a transitional phase where more souls awaken, higher frequencies anchor in humanity, slowly realigns with unity and truth. Although the Vedic teaches of different cycles because we have gone through this golden age on many instances, actually, many cycles during this human cycle of evolution here on Earth, I am actually sensing something. It's a strong intuitive message I'm getting, which is why I'm feeling that a lot of my spiritual counsel of guides are emphasizing for me to share this with you because this year in particular feels like we are breaking all the cycles and we are moving into this whole brand new earth. So it's almost like um, a whole new cycle that hasn't been done before. And I'll get into that and what I mean by that and what messages that I'm getting intuitively, I'll share with you. But first, getting into what Kali Yuga is, as I've mentioned, this is an ancient Vedic Yuga cycles which describe repeating cosmic ages of humanity that, passes through. In the Vedic cosmology, time moves in repeating cycles called yugas, like the cosmic seasons. So the four that are described in the yugas are known. Number one is the Satya Yuga, which is the golden age, known as truth, harmony, highest vibration. Two, the Treta Yuga, known as the silver age. And this is having still light filled but slight decline. In number three, Dvapara Yuga, the Bronze Age, which is when duality increases. And four, the Kali Yuga, which is the Iron Age, known as the density, illusion, materialism, forgetting of spirit. And so, in a sense, Kali Yuga is like a spiritual winter, a time when humanity drifts the farthest from truth, but also when awakening sparks the brightest. And so this has been going on for a long time. And that's what really happened also with Lemuria and Atlantis. It went through that whole cycle and the whole collapse and the whole separation and the whole forgetfulness. And so we were in this Kali Yuga for a very long time. I mean, I won't get into the specifics of the age and the years and all this other stuff. So it just felt like it was forever at times. But that cycle though has really, I feel, ended this year of 2025 and in particular in March of 2025. So what's happening right now is that everything is so accelerated to this quantum ascension, this quantum awakening, and we are definitely moving into this next level of who we are meant to be in a much stronger way. So 2025 feels like a threshold year, the completion of this Kali Yuga. Um, and this doesn't mean, right, that it's an instant paradise, but it makes it, a turning point. The old structures of illusion are, and the corruption, the separation are beginning to dissolve. And there is coming a very accelerated pace, right? Which is why we see so much chaos. And it seems like things are getting worse for that reason, because a lot of things are being released And what, has been hidden for so long is starting to reveal itself. And that is, the corruption and the things that were already occurring. It's just becoming even more evident that they've always been there for a long time. And the things that are rotting, it's time to come up. It's time to cleanse that. It's time to get rid of the things that are just no longer serving, that are basically rotted, right? So it's time to just trash it pretty much. So, um, so there is, this co-collective shakeups, endings, and awakenings, all are signs of this cycle closing and completing. So typically, what comes after this Kali Yuga is the cycle resets back into Satya Yuga, which is the golden age. And this is like winter giving way to like spring, a time of renewal, truth, and deeper remembrance of who we are. But the transition is gradual, and we are in this like dawn hours when the sun is starting to come up of Satya Yuga, not, full daylight just yet. So imagine the first rays of the sunlight breaking through after this very long night. That's where we are at this point, that those sunlights and those rays of the sunlight are starting to shed light. So let's talk about something that I have been sensing, as I've mentioned, very intuitively, which is the reason why, my council of guides, of spirit guides, want to talk about this with you. If 2025 marks this completion of this Kali Yuga, does that mean that the cycle repeats? Or does this ending feel different? And I'll tell you, it does feel different to me. It definitely feels like there's something much bigger, something that is so different from all the other cycles that we have gone through as a collective, as a humanity. And something is being rewritten in the Akashic records as we speak. So, according to the ancient Vedic texts, the Yuga cycles are eternal, just like the seasons. But after Kali Yuga ends, the golden age, Satya Yuga begins again. And the wheel continues, Satya, Treta, Devpara, and Kali. From this traditional lens, the cycles repeat endlessly, like the rising and the setting of the sun. But here's where it gets fascinating. There is a sense that what we are living through now is not just the end of Kali Yuga, but the end of all cycles as we've known them. So instead of going back into another rotation of light and dark, humanity may be completing a meta cycle, a stepping into a new octave of existence. So think of it this way. In the classical cycle, time is a wheel, round and round. It almost reminds me of like the wheel of time, right? If you ever seen that show. So what if we move into like a different wheel, right? A different wheel of a different cycle. So in the ascension perspective, time is a spiral. So we circle, but each turn takes us higher into these different densities of expansion of different frequencies and vibrations. Unlock your limitless potential with the monthly multiversal circle of creation. This sacred quantum manifestation ritual will awaken your inner power and connect you to the successful versions of yourself across the multiverse. Clear blocks, amplify your creative energy, and set powerful intentions for abundance, love, and possibilities. Activate your galactic aspects, recalibrate your nervous system, and manifest your dreams with cosmic clarity. Available in person and via Zoom. Join us for this transformative experience today. So this means that as Satya Yuga dawns, we may not fall back into this Kali Yuga in the same way again. Instead, we enter this new Earth frequency, a golden age that is more permanent, more stable, and much more anchored in this higher vibration. And when I say higher vibration, I'm not saying that anything is greater or better than anything. What I am saying is that there is this different pulsating frequency, that it is moving at a faster rate than ever before. And so it's moving into a different density that it is faster pulsating frequency and vibration. And the reason is because we have repeated this wheel so many times that I feel it's like a graduation from this wheel itself. And that is why so many light workers, so many star seeds feel like it's never ending. And they've been through this so many times. And I've heard this from so many other light workers who have incarnated here and saying, I'm so tired of like all of this again, repeating. It just feels like it's never going to end. But I really, really feel that this is it. So, we've been going through this cyclical burnout. That's what it feels like. But this is our time, that this is where the great shift is happening. That is why so many powerful star seeds and light workers are in the front line right now here on Earth, and you're one of them too, whether you know this or not, to anchor this in a much stronger, and also because we bring so many lessons learned from the previous cycle changes of these golden age and the collapse, so going back and forth. So this cycle, right, is that whole cyclical burnout. And, it's just, it brings me in tears. So, actually, in saying this, when I was really like tapping into this message that I wanted to share with you, I was in tears because I really felt that, it was such an honor in my heart just to be here during this time, especially with you, that we are all in this together. So, it's not by coincidence that you're here, it's not by chance that you're here. You knew, you're so new. So in part, I'm sharing this information of what is, really happening, but it's also another layer of remembrance of your soul. So in simple terms, the traditional teachings, the cycles resets to Satya Yuga and continues, but in the ascension lens and the lens that we're in right now, the ending just feels different. A once in a many lifetimes completion, lifting us into these higher octaves where truth and light remain anchored more fully. And I've heard so many astrologers say, and top astrologers say, that a lot of these planetary alignments have never occurred before. In some of these cases, these have been some really rare astrological events that have been occurring as well. This year in particular, there's been a lot of 0 degree in some, certain signs, especially Aries. Aries is like the first runner-up sign for the zodiac sign, and is considered to be that really strong creative force of energy that we all hold within ourselves. So in essence, this would make sense of this message, that it feels like this ending is much different, and this new anchoring of this new earth is definitely much different than all the previous cycles. So we are graduating from this cyclical burnout wheel. So how to align. Now let me share, 5 keys to align with this transitional and really accelerate the timeline and really anchor into this transition. So number 1, releasing what's crumbling. Trust that the endings are making space for the new. Number 2, anchor light daily. Meditation, prayer, energy practices, or simply just choosing presence. And number 3, strengthen your discernment. During these final hours, illusions can feel loud. Choose alignment over fear. And number 4, embody the values of this new transition or this new earth vibe with truth, compassion, unity, and higher consciousness. And 5, hold a vision. And the more we envision and live as if the golden age or this new earth is here, the faster it seeds into this reality. And we're accelerating this timeline, this collective timeline as well. And there's a reason why I chose the name Ascended Earth for this podcast, because I was anchoring in the presence of an ascended Earth, the new Earth itself. So as one age ends and another begins, You are not here by accident. You are part of this grand transition, a bridge between cycles. You knew when you volunteered that this was going to happen and wanted front row seats as well. But not only that, it was also a time you knew to complete ancestral and karmic cycles. The challenges you walked through are not punishments, they are preparation for this moment now. And now, in the light of this new earth, to break through, you are being called to embody the truth of who you are. Remember, the end of the Kali Yuga is not the end of hope. It is the beginning of a whole new dawn. So, whichever way you see it, the invitation is the same, to live as if the golden age is already here, because in many ways it is. And we are birthing it in every choice, every alignment, and every act of love that we do. And I will conclude this episode with a mantra for cycle of completion and renewal that you may repeat as often as you like and desire, and come back to re-listen to this as well. And I invite you to repeat the following mantra with me to align to this new cycle that is unfolding as we complete this Kali Yuga and step into the truth of who you are. So let's drop into your heart. Take a deep breath. And together let's say, I release the weight of endings. I stand in the light of beginnings. Through truth I rise. Through love I ascend. I am the dawn of a new age. And so it is. And so I wish you well, and I will catch you in the next episode. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to click like, save, and share with others so they can also experience what you just experienced. And stay tuned for some more high vibe episodes. And I'll be connecting with you in the next quantum field. Sending you so much love.